before the season started, Cam said, 55 is a nice number for him. Schedule's pretty good right now. How much communication between you, Buck, him, Cops, all that type of stuff to figure out rest and all that type of stuff?
You use the word schedule right now. We take that into consideration and take a look at what is happening around us, how much stress we're putting on him. And we also have to consider we have another goaltender that's important too. But we know that when January and February hits, we have zero chance of running one goaltender. So we have to have two playing very well. We have to have, right now, I'm not saying we can run one goaltender, but we have that luxury if we so choose. Talb's played very well last night. He's played very well all season. He had an average workload. Today was a clean-out day for our team, and he didn't get a lot of work as far as stress work goes in practice, just enough to feel good and get ready to play again. So if we choose to use him tomorrow, I think we're okay, and then we just keep on making decisions day after day. We talk about it in our coach's room. Mike Buckley talks to the goaltenders and makes sure he gets a feel for where they're at mentally and physically. I talk with Blakey and the management team about it all the time. So the decisions that go into almost every night is shared throughout the organization, and that's, I think, a strength of ours.
Both teams seem to be really on top of the game checking last night. How did your team be so airtight?
Well, it was a low event game both ways, and that's because both teams committed to not giving up a lot of space, managing the puck well, playing fairly fresh. Both goaltenders were pretty sharp. It's a night where it's nice to get out in front, not only by one but by two. And our group, it's the first time we hadn't given up 4 goals on home ice. That's important to us, so we got to take some pride in it, and we did that last night. And we talked about some of these things during our 4-day break, and it's really rewarding to see them apply some of our conversations, not necessarily practice principles, but conversations in the game. It means they're valuing it too.
The game essentially ended with Adrian Kempe blocking a shot. The team had blocked shots up and down the lineup. It wasn't just one player or one line or one team pair. Is that a sign of the commitment to the principles you talked about, or was that a specific area of focus?
That's a sign of the commitment to those principles. In fact, I mentioned it to Adrian today. It was about, I'm going to say 3-4 years ago I first got here, and we were using Adrian penalty killing, and I don't know if he couldn't get in the shooting lane or if he got out of the shooting lane. It doesn't matter anymore, but we talked about it and tied it all together this morning at practice. Our leading goal scorer, 41 goal scorer, can sell out with 7 seconds left in a game in November. It's a powerful thing for everybody else on that team to watch. And we were outsold by Philadelphia 4 days earlier in those areas. So to respond again is rewarding for not just coaches, but for the group as a whole.
You talked about the block shots last night. You mentioned it's also about those disruptive plays that guys can make. That feels like a good descriptor for Mikey Anderson. I'm wondering how you kind of saw him impact the game in that area.
He had a real good night, in my opinion. Coming off one of his weaker performances, probably against Philly, he would tell you that. His ability to break plays up and disrupt is huge, and it's either a full block, if we're going that route, or just a nick with a stick, a tick, we call them ticks, or a touch. That's as good as a block. Sometimes it's better because you don't have to absorb a 100-mile-an-hour shot. But he was very good at it, and he takes a lot of pride in it, and it rubs off on others.
Could you share with us an update on Pierre Dubois and
PL went for a test today, he came back, and I believe from what I've quickly heard now, is that the news is a lot better than it could have been. And we'll see where he is tomorrow. And cue him just a maintenance day, more sinuses and stuff like that than any type of injury.
We've talked a lot about the fourth line and their contributions to this team. If last night was a low event game, then the fourth line was a blanket over the entire game. Is that a good example last night of how they
Yes.
could just shut anything down anywhere on the other?
I use the word their money, and I got to use it again. Like you just right now, you can count on them, and big face-offs, real good execution, heavy forecheck, the hunt when they don't have the puck, all the goals they've scored, the penalty kill aspect of the game. And last night, poor Granny got shorted some minutes because we were shorthanded so often, especially in the third period. But when his number's called, he just goes out and gets the work done. So we're really fortunate to have that line right now because they stabilize a lot of things for our team.
I'm just adding to that. Where I noticed it more last night on a TV timeouts, you start that line, like everyone's fresh.
Yep. And in the past, we may have gone back to Kopi's line or whatever, but we're trying to create some balance, a complete team mentality, manage minutes a little bit better if we can for some of the high minute guys. Doesn't always happen that way. Kopi was over 20 last night, but when you have that many penalty kills, he will be. But you can only do that when you have a line like that can produce.
5 penalties always concerning. Was there a trend to what you saw, or was it just individual plays and doesn't?
I think we were all over the map last night. Royce's penalty at the net was an instinctive one right as the whistle goes. Dewey shot one in the stands. So there were a variety of different ones. There wasn't a general theme.
Kevin Fiala, unpredictable to the opposition last night, but predictable to his own team.
That was probably a good way of putting it, and effective. He really played a good game, and all over the rink, full game. And he's got to be feeling really good about himself today. And we didn't doubt that was there. We knew it was there. We're just trying to poke him a little bit to get it from him.
Minute left, 2-1 game. You had him out there defending that lead. Is that a sign of faith in him for what he?
Well, he the way he played last night, he deserves to be out there in that situation. Same thing with Lizzo's line. Like, if we couldn't get Kopi out against Barkov because they were working hard, I had no problem with Lizzo or Dano out against them. Like, players feel that. If you trust them, they feel that, and they feel better about their game. But they put themselves in that situation.
You mentioned after the game last night that you're really confident in how PL Dubois plays with the puck on his stick.
Mhm.
You're not just pushing him to do more without the puck. Is it as simple as kind of like just him demanding more when the puck's in the D zone, or is
Well, that's a pretty broad, for me to say that's pretty broad, because when you don't only have the puck on your tape 40 seconds a night maybe. So there's a lot of other areas of the game, but he is getting used to how we play and where we do certain things. I think that's got in the way sometimes, where he ends up thinking about the game a little bit and managing the game and just go play it. So my comment was really complimenting him on the power of his play with the puck. Away from the puck, he's fine. There's things that he's going to get better at as time goes on, and he's a guy that we need, and we're lucky to have him.
Todd, was that one of your more complete starts on home ice? I know you talk about face-offs, the first, time of engagement, you won 8 of the first 10 draws, and it seemed like that just kind of set the mold for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and there's always concern after 4 days. Are we going to be sleepy starting? Are we going to be slow? Are we going to be over passing? win a face-off, establish a forecheck. The next shift out, we beat a pinch and score. So it gives everybody a little lift, some confidence, and we're ready to go. If that happens the other way, now we're, okay, but give the guys credit. They found a way to get that first one. And as you saw, there weren't very many 2-on-1s or 3-on-2s for either side last night, so good we took advantage of it.
Anything you can tell us about St. Louis that, their strengths?
You know what,
Yeah.
I can tell you now, but I haven't even had time to watch them, so I would do you a disservice and probably St. Louis too, so.